So drawing Mount Fuji. Backgrounds are hard, and I hate doing them in 2D.
Yeah.
This is why I do them in 3D, so I can be a lazy fucking shit.
I mean, I just patently avoid doing them at all costs, basically. Like, I'm just like, well, I can't really ever be that bad at backgrounds if I never do them, which is an idiot's logic. Surely I can't be terrible if I don't try. And I'll just be like, no, that's what being terrible is. You need to do better at it.
I just draw a zigzag and those my mountains.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm very creative.
Yeah, I watch Bob Ross and I'm just be like, fuck you. Like, how can you do that?
I want to become him.
I mean,
I want to embody Boba Ross.
I do genuinely get very angry at, like, how seamless it is for him to just draw, like, this beautiful mountain vista, which is, like, probably objectively kind of kitschy, but he's just so likable and he's so chill, and it was the first time that I knew what ASMR was. Like, I knew what the feeling of it was, but I was like, oh, I just want to fall asleep to him because it's so relaxing. And I never learned how to paint because I could never stay awake. So
I don't get painting either. When in school, I was never taught to paint. I hated doing it because everything I draw looks like a child's drawing, and it's just like, here's my finger painting. And the person next to me's put up this massive fucking like mural of some girl that looks photorealistic, and they're like, oh.
The thing that weirded me out about painting is that it's such a time-intensive activity that even if you are doing it in school, you can really only dedicate about half an hour to it, like maybe 2 or 3 times a week. So when I was in my senior year of high school, I had these 2 paintings that I was working on. One of them was this portrait of it wasn't really a portrait. It was actually supposed to be like a tree, like some kind of like mountain, like top tree, almost like a bonsai kind of looking thing, because it was just on like the base of this really rocky mountain thing. And the other one was a portrait of the bassist from Fall Out Boy, Pete Wentz. but like in retrospect, it kind of looked like one of those weird like airbrush tattoos you could see at like a dealer in San Diego, like at the pier, like the boardwalk, and it looked really bad, like that really like weird late 90s like Hispanic kind of looking airbrush thing, and I was like, I should throw this out. And then luckily I didn't even have to choose because the art teacher had thrown out the prints because I didn't pick them up on time on the second to last day of class, so that was nice of him. So I didn't have either one of them to take home.
I mean, it sounds like you were actually taught to paint in school. They literally just gave us paints and were like, there you go. It's like, how do I make this look decent? It's like, I don't know, just painting is just beyond me. I think it's because I can only draw digitally, because if I draw physically, it looks like a fucking mess.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I think there's also just something to be said about, like, the idea of having high schoolers do certain stuff like painting. Like, we also had a metal working like kind of class. Like, it was supposed to be like,
oh no,
well, no, and it was really weird because like it was a metal working class. Like, the idea was that you were going to be making jewelry, but the problem was that my teacher was an ardent fundamentalist Christian who was obsessed with Ronald Reagan and had a shrine to him in her classroom. And here's the thing about working with metal.
Good old Ronnie Reagan.
Well, no, I was just saying, here's the thing about working with metal is that you have to use these blades to cut through them, and they tend to break a lot because you have to use a whole lot of force and friction to be able to drive it through the metal, even if it's like a relatively lighter material. And when the blades break, they tend to cut you, and when they cut you, you might say, damn it, or ow, that really fucking hurt, or something. And that's how I got suspended for 3 weeks. Because I said, god damn it, because I like accidentally cut myself. And my teacher was such a fucking Nazi about it that she was like, I'm gonna give you detention for taking the Lord's name in vain. And I was like, you can't fucking do that. This is a public school. Like, why aren't you reprimanding all the pregnant girls? Like, at least I didn't do that.
God, that never happened in my school. My school never had pregnant girls in it, to my knowledge.
Oh yeah, that was our thing.
They could all be sneaking past me.
Our thing was weed and teen pregnancy, but our rival school was all about like kids abusing OxyContin and trying to get into Harvard. That was about it. It's like, we're in a really good school district, but everyone is high on like pet pills. It was awful.
The more I hear about my school versus other people's schools, the more I think my school was like the most tame thing in the world. Because I hear about other schools where like people get their heads kicked in and various drugs are being done in the bathroom, and I'm just like, there was none of that in my school. What the fuck? Did I just go to like the most white school ever? Is that what happened?
Subscribe and tell me who you have a shrine to in your wardrobe.